Sure of something here. Hey, not who you're quite expecting to host the show, but here I am. This is Strong Style. This is a special Friday edition of Strong Style as Jon Rocha has some stuff to do over the weekend, don't we all? But it was going to conflict with our normal airing of the show. So we decided to do it today, last minute knee jerk decision. But I am Aaron Turner. I will be your host for a little bit. Jon will join us in a few when he gets all set up. And of course, joining us as always is the man, the Darkitect, Chris Burns. What's up, dude?
Hanging in there, man. Took Friday off for this. Excited.
Oh, Friday off. Wow. Just real quick, went to NXT on Tuesday, was hoping to get some really good things for you guys. And they said, you can't record or stream. And I said, okay. So I have no footage. But I did get to see Nikkita Lyons live for the first time. And it is an experience. And I don't mean it the way you think. I mean it like it's kind of wild how like her music hits and then everybody like is turned around. Like everybody wants to see what's going on. She's like the new it girl, dude.
Yeah. I mean, there's some wrestlers that just kind of have that presence. I mean, even some non-wrestlers. I mean, they used to say that about Sable. Like there was just something about her and whatever she was doing, the entire audience was like captivated by it, which led to a lot of obsession from Vince McMahon and people backstage, and it went left definitely, but totally get it.
And loving the shirt, man. Mr. Perfect, of course, Kurt Hennig, one of the absolute best wrestlers of all time. One of my favorites. As a matter of fact, WWE Select trading cards came out today from Panini, and Mr. Perfect is in the set. So good to see Mr. Perfect with his first.
I need one of those Gigi Dolan cards you showed us a long time ago.
Oh, I've got it for you. Don't worry, I've got it for you. She's also in this set, and she has like 4 different cards. So if you're a Gigi Dolan collector, there you go. So this show's going to consist of it's kind of a condensed version because, of course, we have Dynamite or not Dynamite. We have Rampage and SmackDown tonight, and then whatever happens over the weekend. So we got Raw. We got some stuff with Dark Side of the Ring and what's happening there. AEW Dynamite, maybe some trivia if we have time. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. Were you at the NXT episode? Nikkita had the wardrobe malfunction that everyone's talking about?
Was that this week?
I think so.
Oh, God, I missed it.
No, I didn't.
No. Someone can DM me that. That'd be great. Just for research purposes, of course.
That's right. We're journalists.
Yeah. So it was NXT was a decent show. I feel like, I mean, this place could only fit like 200 or 250 people, right? And I would say maybe there was 125 there. Mm-hmm. So it was very small, but it was okay. I got to see Apollo Crews versus Roderick Strong. That was a nice surprise. But anyway, moving on here. Oh, you went to the Wrestlemania thing at SoFi. Tell us about that. Tell us what that was about.
So I mean, it was so bizarre. It seemed like you really kind of had to be in the know to even know this was happening. There was an announcement for like, I work at Live Nation, so there was like an announcement to us that this thing was going on at SoFi, and they were advertising Snoop Dogg and live matches, and I was just like, "What is?" But it was free. It was free to the public, so I was like, "Okay." I didn't even think, like, being a complete idiot, I didn't even think to like, "Oh, I had to register or anything like that." So I literally had to pull favors to even get into this thing, because I forgot to register. By the time I did, it was over capacity. So whatever. Right. I go to the thing. It was actually really cool. They had set up a ring right in the middle of the field, and actually getting to walk on the SoFi Stadium field, the same field that the Super Bowl was freaking played in last year, and to see live wrestling right there. Snoop came, opened the thing, got a special belt from who's our champion? Bianca Belair.
Oh,
gave him a special custom championship belt. He did nothing but a G thing. It was just like a cool, like, little promotional thing they did. A few little matches here. Surprise appearance by Becky Lynch, who cut a promo. Liv Morgan came, cut a promo. They did a Miz TV with JoJo Wiwa. Is that
JoJo Siwa? Yeah.
Siwa, yeah. That girl, and just kind of hustling everybody to get their tickets. They made a couple key mistakes in the stadium. When you do something in SoFi, and you cannot say people of Los Angeles, you have to say people of Inglewood, because I'm from Inglewood. We take a lot of pride in being from that city, and yes, technically it's kind of interchangeable with Los Angeles, but you got to know your audience. You got to know what. And speaking of know your audience, they kept trying to pump up like the LA Rams fandom, and it's like, nah, not in Inglewood, dude.
It's Raiders country, yeah.
You know what I mean? So like every time they were like, "You're world champion Rams," everyone would just boo. And it was a hilarious thing.
Yeah,
and then also massive middle finger to that asshole who showed up in a Toronto Raptors jersey, took it off, and was wearing a swastika t-shirt. The most ballsy dude I think I've ever seen. He was 2 seconds from a serious ass whooping before security pulled him out of there.
What in the hell? I didn't hear anything about that.
It was wild. But other than that, cool little event, cool little show.
I was surprised. Like, I assume there was live wrestling because I saw Los Lotharios did something and they were in like full gear. And I was like,
they took on the Street Profits. Yeah.
I was like, full gear for the SoFi event? Okay. All right. Los Lotharios, whatever you
They wrestled Raquel Rodriguez, wrestled Nikki ASH. They gave Montez Ford like an award for his military service, and all that. I think there was one more match. I just can't remember. Oh yeah, Theory took on Ricochet.
Oh damn! But that was nice.
That was interesting.
Nice. So how long did this thing last? Like, was it like an hour?
It was like 2 hours. It was like 2 hours. We were out there.
Did you get they give you any swag?
No swag, but they did have the merch like ready for, I guess, for Mania. Like you saw the Mania shirt ready to go and all that stuff. So you could buy it in advance. I'm like, I only buy modern merch if it's an insane design, if there's a date on it, or if it's just like a limited edition kind of thing.
I gotcha.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, dude?
Jon Rocha has joined the show.
Sorry, I don't know how to get out. I'm going to get out of that thing. There we go. All right, good. No. Yeah. Sorry about that. So you're talking about your WrestleMania. You were there at the press conference. Sorry about that. Keep going there, Chris.
Yeah. I was just telling Aaron, like, they had like 3 or 4 matches. Snoop Dogg opened it. A couple promos. They did a Miz TV, and then some guy wearing a swastika T-shirt almost got his ass beat.
Whoa, Jesus Christ! Why are you wearing? I guess it's like, well, fuck it. It's a red state. They're gonna love me here. Fuck it, red state company. Let's do it. So that's some dumbass shit. That's for sure. But what about? But how do they choose who wrestles? That's what I was looking at. Because Austin Theory and Ricochet. Are you low on the totem pole if you're being asked to wrestle at this thing, or do they think they're highlighting you a little bit? Well, what's the feeling there?
Yeah, it seemed people who, if they get hurt, it's okay.
Oh, I see.
You know
that
what I mean?
Sense.
Like,
because
at one point Rollins came out to cut a promo, and we're like, Seth, fuck, Rollins is like, what is that? Like, and then but he's in a suit. It's like, oh, okay. They gotta risk him on some free ass event.
On some bullshit, yeah.
Yeah, that they're not making any money out of. So.
Did he laugh? Did he do that?
Of course. It was actually an interesting promo between him. He was talking about, pumping up WrestleMania. Then Theory interrupted him with the Money in the Bank.
Oh, that's perfect.
And talking about, I'm gonna top, the heist of the century. You. Everyone says you have the greatest cash, and I'm gonna have the greatest cash in. Right. And they just kind of bantered back and forth before Ricochet came out.
Nice. And this is a WrestleMania. It's not gonna happen for like another 8 months or something like that. It's not even for for a while, but they're already doing a press conference for it. It's pretty insane. I tried to get tickets for it, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, thanks to everybody who's joining us right now on this impromptu episode. Thank you to Aaron for starting the show. Sorry, y'all. I was on my way back from a meeting, so I just barely got into the house to do this. So, but yeah, I tried to get front row tickets. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try. I'm going to see how much they cost. Maybe it's $2,000. And I'm clearly stuck back when in the early 2000s when I tried to get a front row ticket from the WWE way back then at WrestleMania. $10,000, ladies, per ticket. $10,000 front row right as they come down the ramp, like right that corner area.
No.
And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not paying 10 grand for a fucking ticket. Like I love WrestleMania. I would love to be there in LA for it next year, but there's no way I'm paying 10 grand for a seat like that. That is insane. Insane.
Yeah. I think
that's night one. That was night one. Night one. I don't even know what night two was, for God's sake.
As a person that's been to 2 WrestleManias, I can tell you the first time that I went in Orlando, I paid $250 a seat for me and my, I think like 6 of us went.
Okay.
So $250 for a seat, and we were not close.
Yeah.
And then when it happened in Tampa, like the COVID, we're back, the COVID thing, I think our tickets were $60 a night.
Wow.
And our seats were better for that one than they were the other one. So I guess it kind of depended on that, but it's kind of nice.
Have you ever been to a Mania, John?
What's that? I've never been to a WrestleMania ever in my life. I've never been to any of the pay-per-views. I've been to house shows. I've been to Raws. I've been to SmackDowns, but I've never been to SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, or WrestleMania. And I thought next year would be an awesome situation. But again, we'll see. There's still time. You never know. The world can be a crazy place. Opportunities can open up. I'd love to be there, so we'll see. But like, not for 10 grand. Not for 10 grand.
We're gonna show my collection, but like my most prized WrestleMania shirt collection is WrestleMania 12 because that's the only one I've ever been to.
Oh,
and so I have every shirt associated with the event except for one.
Wow,
including a parking lot bootleg that was sold at the time. That I was able to get my hands on.
Anaheim.
For $5.
I had to spend a pretty penny on it, but I got it.
That's the best.
I had, when I was a kid, I had the Shawn Michaels like boyhood dream shirt that has the title on the back and he's on the front. Yeah. That was like a very popular shirt. But yeah, WrestleMania 12, good times. Okay, show.
Let's jump into it. We're gonna, as Aaron already mentioned, we're gonna talk about some Rock news, him getting involved with the Vice TV guys. We're gonna hit some Raw news. AEW Dynamite definitely with CM Punk coming back. Big news this week. And maybe if there's time, as Aaron said earlier, we'll get to some trivia. So Aaron, please take it away. Let's jump into this thing.
All right, guys. Monday Night Raw. Let's see if they could keep it on track. We started this week with a brawl between Control, which is Bayley, Io, Sky, and Dakota Kai. Alexa Bliss, Asuka, and Bianca all going at it. This will lead us to a 6-person tag that will be set for Clash at the Castle here upcoming. We also had Seth Rollins defeating Angelo Dawkins. We're going to talk about that one for sure. Kevin Owens defeating Ezekiel by destruction. There was no winner. It was just Kevin Owens came out and whooped Ezekiel's ass, and that was it.
It took him out on a stretcher.
Stretcher job. Love it. Finn Balor defeated Rey Mysterio after a distraction from Rhea Ripley as she drugged the fucking lifeless body of poor Dominic. Good Lord. Io Sky and Dakota Kai defeated Dana Brooke and Tamina in the first round of the Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament. That is happening. Bobby Lashley submitted Ciampa to retain his United States title. We'll definitely talk about that one too.
Yeah.
Amos beat up 2 jobbers. Good to see him back.
Right.
Dolph Ziggler defeated Chad Gable.
Yeah.
And then in the main event, AJ Styles defeated The Miz in a no disqualification match. And we saw a rabid fan try to storm the ring, but he was tackled by security. And it was revealed, though not said on commentary, to be Dexter Lumis, a returning Dexter Lumis. So Triple H, another stone in the gauntlet. He got Dexter Lumis back. So that was Monday Night Raw. What did you think?
Yeah, Chris, please take it away.
I mean, another enjoyable episode. Again, it's not about big sweeping changes. It's just about a little thing here, add a little excitement. The main thing, I don't think I need to go over every match, but I'll just say overall, I think that they're reconditioning us to watch weekly television where they're not hot-shotting things over and over again. And we're getting to see wrestlers that are lower on the card compete in longer matches to save like the bigger things for the pay-per-view, the premium live events, and make those mean more. Normally I would, I have a little side eye about like Dolph Ziggler versus Chad Gable late into the show. You know what I mean? But That's perfectly fine. You know what I mean? Chad Gable's a great wrestler. Ziggler, super consistent. Yeah. And they gave us good action for, you know, however many minutes that they, you know, did their thing. Because you got to save your guys. You got to save the big guns for the big shows, you know. And I think that when Vince was still running it, it was just kind of like the same match over and over and over again. Yeah. And then then it'll be the same match on the pay-per-view that you've seen several times leading up to it. So I think that it's getting back to that mindset of like, okay, let the undercard guys go do their thing, so that every time that there's a big matchup, it's more special. I appreciate that. I appreciate that they're tweaking Kevin Owens back to the sort of ruthless lunatic version of Kevin Owens that he is best at. I know, obviously a Triple H project. He was the one that, you know, brought him into NXT. He's the one who debuted him on the main roster, super strong, you know, going after John Cena his very first night in the company. And so I'm glad to see that character back. And I'm glad to see that they basically killed Ezekiel. It's like, all right, this ain't going nowhere. They never had a plan. He's gone. Let him go grow his beard so he can come back as Elias. You know what I mean? And whatever, let him take a little break. And then the big Dexter Lumis thing at the end, I thought they handled it beautifully. Yeah. Because there was such weird shit happening on Raw the whole time. Even during the Kevin Owens promo, there was like a car accident in the background and they did not acknowledge it. And then there was another like backstage situation where like security was like hauling ass past the wrestler.
Yeah, and Bayley's like, "Oh, I got to get out of here. What the hell's going on?" It was weird. It was so weird.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And then the arrest happens, and then AJ Styles just kind of subtly looks at it, you know, and he doesn't really, you know what's going on. And then they don't tell you it's Dexter Lumis. You like, if you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. Right. And I love that kind of subtle storytelling, very old school territory stuff about like, oh no, this isn't supposed to happen. You know what I mean? We're not like acknowledging it. We're not ready for it. We don't have a whole thing prepared. Right. And I just, you know, again, if this is the kind of Monday Night Raws we're going to get going forward, where it's good wrestling, longer matches, not the same repetitive shit over and over again, and maybe one or two like surprise, exciting things that happen to get you ready for the next episode. Because that's the biggest difference I think I've noticed so far in the Triple H era. They leave us with shit that I'm like, oh, next week I want to see that. I want to see where they go with this.
Right.
But when Vince was charged, like I could tell you what was going to happen the next week while watching. You know what I mean? The current week. So yeah, I was into it.
Yeah. What about you, Aaron?
Angelo Dawkins versus Seth Rollins. Ooh, banger alert. What in the world?
That was awesome.
I know Angelo Dawkins is a shooter. I've seen Angelo Dawkins wrestle many times. And I honestly, he came to the ring. He wasn't wearing the his usual, I don't know what you call that, like a spaghetti strap shirt, whatever you call that.
Sure.
Like, he was shirtless. And I was like, dude, Dawkins been cutting some weight. Like, he's looking good. Not that he ever looked bad, but he's looking really good.
Yeah.
And he's just flying around there, hanging with Seth Rollins, one of the absolute best wrestlers in the entire world. And a couple of times was like, yeah, he could win this. And I would totally be fine with it. So shout out to Angelo Dawkins for killing it on Monday Night Raw on a big stage. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to get us okay with breaking up the Street Profits. Because it's like, okay, well, Angelo's going to be fine on his own because he can have good matches. So I think that's possibly what we are leading to. I thought Bobby Lashley and Ciampa was great. I thought Ciampa acquitted himself very well, and Bobby acquitted himself very well. It's like, yes, I've got this, I wouldn't say young, but I've got this up-and-coming challenger. He's got a lot of hype behind him. Big win over AJ Styles last week. He's a threat. And then Bobby Lashley, put it down, put him in the Hurt Lock, put over the Hurt Lock as a finishing maneuver that even Ciampa, this guy that was on a heck of a run, tapped out. So that was cool. Fish's Kevin Owens back. Thank you, God. I can't remember which one of us said it last week, but someone said it, that they need to bring back that Kevin Owens, and they did. Everybody should know by now that the parking lot, parking structure, parking garage, back lot in WWE is the most dangerous place in the entire arena, and it showed again. There was a car wreck, and Dewdrop and Nikki ASH were kind of in the middle of it there, and then Dexter Lumis. So if nothing else, you had something that you wanted in there. You got something interesting with the car crash and the Dexter Lumis stuff. You got good matches between Dawkins and Rollins, and you even got that one that Chris was talking about with Ziggler and Gable, because they're both former, actual amateur wrestlers too. So that's a really good matchup. And then you got a title match with Bobby Lashley. I mean, it kind of had everything you want. Like it didn't have like Roman Reigns, but that's fine. We don't have to have Roman or Brock every week. I thought this was a good episode. Yeah,
the name of the game is consistency, right? Now that Triple H has taken over, we don't want spikes and then all the way back down to where it was before. We're bored, right? You want to be laying the groundwork of where you want the company to go, where you want Raw to go, where you want SmackDown to go. And Chris, I think you said it great, where you want to reform people's expectations about what to expect every week from Raw and SmackDown and make them feel that they're in good hands. People have been complaining and for years, or for the last few years now, because they don't feel like they're being taken care of. They don't feel like they're in the right hands. And so they're naturally on edge. And of course, there's other people who defend it and say the WWE's been fine. Look, they're making all this money, blah, blah, blah. But look, Brett Ratner made the most money on X-Men Last Stand of those X-Men films, the first 3 films. Let that blow your mind for just a second, even though it's the worst one. So you can't just go with how much money they're making. You also got to look at quality and how that's being presented. And right now, here's the second Raw in a row that was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the vignettes, enjoyed the monologues, the promos rather, enjoyed the Ciampa doing the Harley Race tribute. That was pretty cool. Continuing the legacy, continuing the history, honoring the history. Triple H understands this. He knows how to go and find that person to get them back, and also knows how to entertain the person who needs the flashy lights in their face all the time to keep them riveted and watching what they need to watch. This is what was great about this Raw. There was something for everybody. And so you could really just sit back and enjoy it. If one match wasn't your cup of tea, don't worry. The next match is going to be your cup of tea and you're going to enjoy it. And he's brought personalities back even more so, not scripted personalities, kind of the natural personalities of these wrestlers. And that was fun to see, especially in the brawl there between Control and Alexa, Asuka, and Bianca. Although Alexa, in my opinion, that's got to be Triple H's next project, or one of his next projects, is what to figure out what to do with her. Because right now she's treading water, and she doesn't need to be treading water in this combo. No offense to Asuka. No offense to Bianca. Bianca's already set, but and Asuka will always be kind of like, can we make this work or not make this work? Alexa is proven. So to me, I think that's going to be the next step for him to figure out what to do with her. Control is going to be interesting too, because Dakota Kai and Io Sky are not necessarily that well known to the level that Bayley is. So Bayley's got a work cut out for her, bringing them along, getting them to that section, and I think that's that level rather. And that's it's going to be interesting, because I haven't been sold on Dakota Kai for at all ever. Even in NXT, I wasn't that sold on Dakota Kai. I like Io Sky, and there's potential. So what can Bayley do? So this is going to be fun to see how Triple H and Bayley, with those two ladies, work together to find a way to highlight them, because Bayley don't need the smoke. Bayley's already where she's at. She's already, as Chris pointed out, the GOAT last week. So there's, or Aaron, you said that, I think she's the GOAT. So there's more to come here from them. So I enjoyed that. Yeah, Kevin Owens doing his thing was great. Let's bring back Kevin Owens. Sadly, we will not see Elrod, so we won't know who that's going to be. So that whole storyline is once good over. But once again, you're changing the expectations by killing the Ezekiel storyline. Triple H is saying that stupid shit ain't going to work for us anymore. We'll do some comical stuff, but it ain't going to be that. It ain't going to be that. It'll be something else. So that was great to see. And yeah, giving Ciampa a chance to really show what he can do. Testing Lashley with a different style was great. And I wonder about the breakup now, because both of them have lost to Seth Rollins separately on 2 separate weeks. So at some point, if even the sum of your parts or your separate parts can't get the job done against one of the top talent, that's got to lead to some semblance of self-reflection and then eventual breakup with the Street Profits, unfortunately. But like you guys said, I think Dawkins acquitted himself well, even though he wears that bandana, which reminds me of some of the worst players in the NBA. But it's fine. I'll let it be. I mean, DeMarcus Cousins is fine, but Jesus Christ, I can't.
Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, I mean, well, Sheedy again, 7,500 techs in his career. So need I say more? I mean, I'm just saying, let's put that out there.
Trying to say Rodman ain't a good player? Come on.
Rodman he didn't wear a bandana. He didn't wear a headband.
Well, I'm saying, like, you were harping on the techs. Rodman had his fair share.
That's a different. Well, I'll compare Rodman's rings to Sheedy's anytime. Yeah, what were you gonna say there, Chris?
Did you guys catch the tease in the Ciampa Lashley match?
What do you mean, the Harley Race stuff or something else? What?
When he put Lashley in the Gargano escape.
Yes, I saw people tweet about this. Yes, that was pretty cool. Do you think that's a sign, or do you think that was just an homage?
I don't think they do it if it ain't gonna happen. You remember when all the Cody Rhodes like illusions kept happening before he re-debuted? I think it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
You said that Triple H needs to do a project with Alexa Bliss. May have heard some things at the WrestleMania launch party.
What have you
a certain person who she was responsible for taking out of the company the last time we saw him, from what I understand, the deal is pretty much done. They're just working out the particulars, and if they sign in the next couple of days, we'll see him in the next 2 weeks.
Does it rhyme with Shmay Wyatt? Does it rhyme with that? Is
pretty
that
clean? It rhymes with that pretty clean. I would say absolutely. And I'm hearing that Sasha and Naomi's a done deal. They're signed. They're back.
Oh, dude. See, here we go. Excitement galore.
Zeno Hour has it right. Allen Iverson wore a headband.
Yeah.
End of discussion.
But Allen has a point guard. Dawkins looks like a power forward. So
Are you saying Ben Wallace isn't good either? Like what?
Ben Wallace, come on, man. Come on. Keep calm it down. I'm thinking of Boogie Cousins.
Why do you hate Boogie Cousins so
jumping
much?
from team to team?
Getting paid though.
I could have been good on Sacramento for fuck's sake. Anyway, I'm sorry. I don't mean to go off on that. Do you think so? What do we take away though from this Raw? Where do we think Kevin Owens is going? Let's hit a couple of main points in this Raw. Where do you think Kevin Owens is going? And is Rollins just at this kind of holding pattern right now until they find a way to get him against Reigns, or do you think he goes into another direction, into another feud himself? Because I mean, fighting these two guys doesn't lead him to the next feud against those guys again. So where do you see Kevin Owens going next? Where do you see Rollins going next?
Owens, I say Lashley.
Yeah. Ooh.
Now these heels.
Damn.
Let's go for that. You know what I mean? Kevin Owens had a long, lengthy U.S. title run.
Yeah, I like that idea.
You know what I mean? And so it makes a lot of sense to, put those two in each other's crosshairs. As far as Seth, I don't know. I kind of wish he was Mr. Money in the Bank, honestly. I feel like Trips doesn't have that much love for Theory. And that's why he just been turned into this like whipping boy week in and week out. You know what I mean?
Maybe.
The threat of Rollins like repeating the heist of the century, I think, is a much more intriguing story.
Wow.
So I don't know with Rollins, but definitely if I'm booking KO, we go Lashley.
Did Theory or did Ricochet win that match?
Theory.
Oh, okay. All right. Aaron, where do you think we're going with Rollins, and where are we going with Kevin Owens?
Yeah, of all people to be in a holding pattern, Seth Rollins, it's so weird. But Kevin Owens, I agree with Chris. I think Lashley's a good matchup. But what I want to see out of Kevin Owens, I want to see him beat up heels and baby faces. See, like you don't know where Kevin Owens stands. Like he just beats the hell out of everybody. Ideally, if Cody was back, I would like to see him beat the piss out of Cody Rhodes. Like I think that would be a great feud that you could do. But yeah, U.S. title with Lashley sounds pretty good. We'll see what they're gonna do with Cross, because if they're gonna separate the titles and do whatever weird crap they're trying to do, I don't know about that. So, but Kevin Owens straight to the top, it looks like, so that's good. They're taking him seriously. I mean, he makes it work, right? Like he's a goof, and he makes it work. He's doing the stuff with Ezekiel, he made it work, and now he can be his badass self again. I'm all about it.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I love the idea of Rollins and I love the idea of KO and Lashley. That would be a lot of fun. Rollins, certainly at some point the door will open and then he'll go right into it and do his thing. Cody Rhodes is interesting. I've got a weird feeling they're holding him out, wait until he gets better, all that kind of jazz, of course. But it could be funny to see Cody Rhodes versus Triple H's version of Vince McMahon. You could repeat Stone Cold versus Vince with Cody and Triple H and have that be a thing and have that be down the road. Not yet, but down the road. So it becomes where Cody, and using the real life stuff, you took that sledgehammer to the throne. There could be something to really play with there if you wanted to mess around with that with Cody. So we'll see. That's for sure. All right. Let's see. We had a couple of super chats that came through. Ladies and gentlemen, send in your Streamlabs super chats. We got 100 of you watching us right now. Thank you so much for joining us. Hit that like button. Leave your comment as we're watching, but also send in your Streamlabs super chats. It's pinned in the chat there. It's also on the screen. SJC360 said, thanks for all the hard work. That's all right. It goes out to all three of you guys, all three of us, I think. So thank you very much. Empire Fan 1980 in here says, here's a tip to help you get to WrestleMania. $2.
Hey, tip your wait staff. Come on.
I can't even get a candy bar for $2 at WrestleMania. Chris Miner says, first time in years, I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown. Yeah, that's for sure. I think we're all in that boat, right?
Yeah.
I get Walter and friggin' what'd you call it tonight?
Nakamura.
I'm just like,
yeah.
Oh my Lord, have mercy. That's a main event anywhere else in the world, as they would say.
I'm excited for that.
They're going to hit each other with two concrete sledgehammers. It's going to be insane for sure. All right, let's move on to our next story here. Aaron, where are we going, brother?
All right, now we're talking about John Rocha's good friend, Dwayne Johnson, a.k.a. The Rock. According to Variety, $7 Productions, which you may know as The Rock's production company, and his producer, Danny Garcia, who you may know as his ex-wife. I'm not talking about Danny Garcia from AEW. They will team up with the producers of Dark Side of the Ring for a new documentary series on Vice called Tales from the Territories, putting a spotlight on the regional promotions that originally popularized pro wrestling in the United States. The series is scheduled to premiere October 4th, 2022 at 10 p.m., and they featured little clips from Abdul the Butcher and Bret the Hitman Hart. And it looks like we will be featuring territories such as World Class Championship Wrestling in Dallas. Of course, that was ran by Fritz Von Erich and the Von Erich family. Stampede Wrestling in Calgary, which, of course, is Stu Hart and the Harts, where we got people such as Bret, Owen, Davey, Dynamite Kid, Chris Benoit, Brian Pillman, and others. So, guys, thoughts on this? Tales from the Territories essentially replacing Dark Side of the Ring. What do you think about this?
I gotta ask questions about this because this is, let's remove the stuff that was negative about wrestling and let's bring in a new series that's very positive and uplifting and great. And it's not, it doesn't mean that they're not gonna hit on some of the more difficult aspects of some of these wrestlers, but it feels like this is about elevating the image of pro wrestling rather than really showing the dark underbelly. I remember a friend of the show, Brad Gilmore, last year asked, who wants to see more Dark Side of the Ring? Why are people into this kind of thing? And it's like, yeah, there's a lot of us who do, because we like to hear these stories that are not manufactured and PR approved. We like to hear what actually happened. We like to see the other side of things. And certainly Ric Flair has been working hard to discount that situation. So on one side of it, I think it's a bit of PR and a bit of massaging of this, maybe from Vice as well. But on the other side, I kind of like that this is happening because I trust The Rock. The Rock knows about pro wrestling history, respects certainly he's third generation superstar. So he's got a bloodline, to use a term there, that goes to a lot of people who are connected to that family that The Rock is also a part of. So to me, this excites me on so many levels, and I think it's smart. Why not? Let people understand the history of something so they can appreciate even more how far it's come. Yeah. What do you think, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a shame to lose Dark Side because one thing about it was that it was a bit of a cautionary thing.
Yeah.
And it really spoke to, how these things can go left and how like fame and money, aren't the answers to life, and a lot of it is taking care of your mental health and making sure that you have a healthy, productive life outside of what you do, you know what I mean? And not giving over to, a lot of the vices that exist therein. Cause it's all about improving the quality of life at each evolution of any business, whether it be pro wrestling or anything else, So sad to lose it in that regard, but yes, should be very interesting. Wrestling fans love documentaries. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We just do rivalries on A&E or, wrestler biographies or the WWE Network shorts that they used to do. Like, we just love it. We love talking about the history, and you'll never run out of things to discuss or little hidden gems to discover and all that stuff. So I'm excited about it. Yeah, and I'll definitely be tuning in.
Well, look, I mean, Aaron, ESPN has made a whole cottage industry out of these sports docs with ESPN Plus with 30 for 30. I just finished watching last night the 7th episode of The Captain, the Derek Jeter 7-episode series, which was incredible. I mean, the 7th episode not so good, but the first 6 were phenomenal. So they know what they're doing. So the WWE is connected to ESPN. I'm sure there are people involved in this that will, work with The Rock and deliver some fantastic stuff. What do you anticipate? What does this news do for you?
I think you guys are thinking wrong about this. Like Dark Side of the Ring, which I say yay. I liked most of Dark Side of the Ring, but on the tail half there in the last season, we were kind of running out of steam. I think two things happened. I think they were running out of stories, and I think that they were running out of access. Because we saw what happened to Tommy. Sure. We saw what happened to Tommy Dreamer when he made those comments about Ric Flair. Right. We saw what happened to Ric Flair. So it's kind of like, I think people were a little timid on working at that.
Yeah.
If you've seen the documentaries on these territories like the WWE has made, they're kind of puff pieces, but they also tell like the dark stuff that happened, especially at the World Class when they talk about David Von Erich dying and they talk about the drugs and all that stuff. So I think you guys are thinking, at least what I'm getting from this, you guys are thinking it's kind of going to be like a happy puff piece. I think it's going to be half that, and I think it's going to be the rest of it because we're going to see the rise and the fall.
Okay.
So when we see the fall, it's going to be something. But if you would have said we're taking away Dark Side of the Ring, I'm like but we're going to replace it with a documentary about wrestling territories. Hooray! Because that's awesome. World Class in Dallas, Harley Race in Kansas City, Memphis, like these great territories that people kind of forget about because revisionist, there's the ice cream man running down the street. Revisionist history says that WWE is the only gig in town and Vince McMahon bought it and yada, yada, yada. But no, we have the Carolinas. We've got Florida with Eddie Graham and company. So, like, I'm glad these stories are being told. I'm so happy. I'm thrilled.
Well, I mean, it's because of the press release, right? They said, what do they say here? Where is it? Yeah, there's a rich history of untold stories, which you can't wait to bring to life. In many ways, the wrestling world's a family. They have great moments, tough times, and everything in between. So it's being presented as a positive approach. And Aaron, do you think they're going to go all the way to the end where Vince came in and destroyed those territories? Or do you think they're going to leave that off so that everyone feels touchy-feely by the end of those documentaries? You're saying it's going to be dark. Are they going to go that dark? Are they going to explore how Vince kind of fucked shit up for them?
Yeah, I think you have to. I think you absolutely have to put that in there. And Drawswalker even said, he says even Portland had folks come through. Yeah, Roddy Piper was a big part of Portland wrestling. So, absolutely. I'd love to see that in there. So, Minnesota as well, of course, Mr. Perfect and Rick Rude and all those guys, coming through Minnesota. Ric Flair came through Minnesota. So it'll be cool to see if they add that in there. I just want, if I could watch like those WWE documentaries, and sometimes I do to like go to sleep, or if I just want to know some history, if I can just watch all those back to back, I would do that all day because I love the history of the business. So for me, this is excellent.
One more thing, SE Scoops is reporting that's what they report. This is what they reported in early June of this year, that WWE is working with them, the two producers, Evan Husney and Jason Eisner, on this project. And the project is said to have a much, quote, softer and sanitized tone than Dark Side of the Ring. So, Aaron, I live in hope that you might be right, but I got a feeling Chris and I are more in where I think it's going to go, which is much more about uplifting people and making them happy to see these guys, these older dudes in their prime, and hearing about these stories, and much less about, and he killed himself. They're not going to go into that, I don't think so.
I love the notion of Vince McMahon being like the big bad that is like the through line on each one of these episodes where it's like, and then the Emperor came and destroyed it all. It's like, I love that notion. That every episode, it's the Vince McMahon segment when he came and
it's just a black frame. And then Vince showed up. ...
Well, it's like Chris Miner says in the chat. He said, living in Memphis, I would love to see more about Memphis wrestling, such as the Kaufman and Lawler drama. Absolutely.
Yeah, true.
I mean, I'm from West Virginia, so we didn't have a territory. Like, if we had wrestling, if Crockett would come through there, like during those times. My dad told me that he would go to the field house and he would see Ric Flair and Bobo Brazil wrestle. And that was what they got when Crockett would come through. And then later it was, WWF and all that kind of stuff. But I love that kind of stuff, dude, because all these dudes back in like the Hall of Famers, the ones that we loved throughout the 80s and 90s, like when we were really into wrestling and watching it, they all came from these territories. Like very few actually came from like the WWF system at the time. Like even Hulk Hogan came from Tampa. Right. And then he moved to Minneapolis and came through Vern and did that kind of stuff. So The Rock went through Memphis. The Rock was not a WWF prodigy. That's where he came from. So
Flex Cavana.
Flex Cavana. There you go.
Chris Miner is saying, here's a tip for Rocha's WrestleMania candy bar. It's still not enough. Black Cinema Critic says, this is for an actual women's tag team tournament. At the end, Sasha and Naomi will come out, make their intro, and take the titles back with Triple H at ringside. You guys think that's happening?
Like I said, I hear things.
I think that's the idea. Like they did that with CM Punk and John Cena not too long ago when Punk left the company and then they came back. So probably something like that. But what is interesting is that Nikkita, Lyons and Zoey Stark are in the tournament as a tag team. So we'll see how that goes.
You don't have that on the rundown. I was going to ask you guys about this. Aaron, I know you talked about it earlier at the NXT taping, but that's not the NXT we got this week, right? It's a different NXT, right? So the one we got this week, though, Nikkita, Lyons coming out there, but Zoey Stark taking care of Mandy Rose. It was beautiful to see. And I'm always one of these people that when you lift up the belt, you're not going to win it. You're not going to win it if you lift it up before you get in the match. So it seems like Zoey's not going to win this thing, but they're putting them together as a tag team. And watching their first promo together, I immediately felt there's no way they're staying together. There's just no way they're staying together. What do you guys anticipate seeing from both Zoey Stark against Mandy Rose? And do we anticipate Zoey Stark and whoa, you all right? What was that?
I hope it was thunder.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Or a fucking nuclear bomb. I don't know what that was. Sorry, guys.
Stay with us, Aaron. Stay with us.
Guys. I think we're good.
Don't stop, drop, and roll, brother.
Jesus.
I didn't hear the Ice Cream Man, but I heard that. So did Clarissa. What was that? Yeah, I don't know. All right, Aaron. Anyway,
Lord. So you know what? You guys going to talk about it. I'm going to go check and make sure my city block is still here.
I think it was Vince. To destroy the Orlando territory. Man.
Could have been. Hold on. Go
all right, Chris. What do you think? What do you anticipate to see from Zoey Stark and Mandy Rose? And do you think Zoey and Nikkita will make it as a tag team past 2 or 3 matches?
No, I don't think they'll stay together. I think it's a mega power situation. When two baby faces are presented and booked a certain way, it's like they have to clash at some point. That's just how pro wrestling goes, and it's obvious that Nikkita and Zoey are the future main event scene of NXT 2.0. I don't know how much longer Toxic Attraction is even going to be there. You know what I mean? Like I think that act has done what it needed to do for NXT 2.0, and so they'll probably ship Mandy back to the main roster and take Gigi and I can't remember the third girl with her. But so I think that's definitely where we're headed for sure. And I also think it's interesting that they are in the tournament without being elevated to the main roster. Which is very interesting because that also gives me hope for Survivor Series where I guess NXT will be included this year. Because they were excluded last year, included the year before, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, I always love their inclusion in the situation. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm going to be curious to see what happens with them because I think the Zoey Stark, Mandy Rose, they're going to have to make it work that Mandy beats her. Because Zoey has been on fire, man, and she is a damn good wrestler. And I take your point, Chris, because the idea of Nikkita and Zoey being in the tag team tournament, but not being elevated to the main roster, this could be Triple H's way of exposing them to the bigger audience and seeing how people react to them, because Zoey should already be up in the main roster. But of course, he's got to walk that line with NXT. Got to have enough people there so people keep showing up every week to see these shows at the tapings and whatever. But I also got to figure out when I can, put them up into the main roster. And is there room for them in the main roster as I'm making all these changes and making all these moves? Is there room for Zoey Stark? Is there room for Mandy Rose, as you just said, possibly going back up? So it's going to be interesting for sure to see what happens with those two. What do you anticipate, Aaron? And are you okay? What was this exposure?
It was just Thunder. It's doing it again. So just everybody chill. How dare you about Mandy Rose? Second of all, I think that what they're doing eventually is they realize that, okay, if Zoey Stark isn't going to take this off of Mandy Rose, then we're going to move this towards Nikkita. But I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to turn Nikkita heel.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I have that suspicion. I really think it's going to happen. And in this tag title match that they have, it's either going to happen there or something like that. And I think if Zoey Stark doesn't take the pin, I would be stunned.
Yeah.
First of all, because I think Nikkita at the moment has more upside than Zoey at the moment. In terms of popularity, not necessarily skill.
I think you're talking with your eyes and not your brain.
No, I'm serious. Like I mean it. Like I just.
I know you mean it.
I did check on Mandy when Zoey hit her with that Tilt-A-Whirl GTS, and she was fine. So that's good. It's good to know she will be in fighting shape for Heatwave next week. It was good to see her. Good to talk with her.
Yeah.
So, Senor Nerd, that's a kick-outable offense. I think we're going to find out a lot at Heatwave. Like, I'm kind of leaning towards, like, could Zoey Stark take it to be a believable champion? I don't know. I don't know if that crowd would. The crowd was hot for her, but I don't know if they would accept it.
It's too early. It's too early, right?
Yeah,
Aaron?
she just came back.
Yeah, she just came back, and she was just rising when she got injured. So it would be too early to put a belt on her, but letting her deliver a banger of a match is what you plan on down the road using to kind of promote her and sell her if you want to give her the belt or if you want to elevate her to the main roster.
And Haskell's talking about it. He says there were two bad landings between Cora Jade and Zoey Stark. That was a bad match, guys. Like I saw it live. It was really bad.
Yeah.
That's not how you can equate yourself. I think Cora Jade was bad.
Yeah.
I don't think Zoey Stark was bad. So, we'll just have to see what happens.
Okay.
You know what? I actually don't think the breakup will happen sooner than later.
Okay.
I think that we still got to have a War Games with Nikkita and Zoey and a couple others versus Toxic Attraction. I think that still has to happen before the breakup.
Well, also the vignette that they showed, I don't know if they showed it on TV, but they showed it in the arena. It made me believe that Toxic Attraction was going to break up. That Gigi and JC were going to do their own thing away from Mandy, because they showed like a personality profile of just the team of Gigi and JC.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is different. So it didn't, and they weren't with Mandy when she showed up on camera on NXT. So it kind of got me thinking, like, are they going to move those two up, or are they going to, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. And Cora Jade, I mean, I don't know how many opportunities. Turning her heel is great, but if she's going to still deliver the same kind of matches, I mean, what the fuck does it matter? So I'm at that point now with Cora Jade where I'm tired of hearing about potential. It's like a first-round draft pick that keeps throwing interceptions. You're like, no, they're getting better. Look at the stats. They're getting better. And your eyes are like, yeah, these don't believe what the hell you're saying and what you're showing me, because I'm watching it on the field, and they don't look like they're getting better. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. For sure. Stellar Justin Lopez is PW Insiders reporting Top Dollar and Ashante the Adonis are backstage at SmackDown. They, of course, were in Hit Row. How do you see the duo working? Swerve.
Minus Swerve.
Minus Swerve, right? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. What do you say there, Aaron?
Badly. Not that they're not talented, but Swerve was the glue, brother.
Yeah.
Like Swerve's the main ingredient to the. That's like having mashed potatoes without the salt. Like you got to put some flavor in there. And my guy Swerve has all the flavor. dude, this is like Sam's Choice instead of Coca-Cola. No offense to those guys.
Oof.
But
Don't
come
kill
on.
sponsors while we're trying.
Come on, brother. You can't have Hit Row without Swerve. Get out of here. It's insane.
Chris, thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, it's just like it's just weird. Like, the headline sounded good when I heard this earlier. Like, oh, they're talking about bringing back Hit Row, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Wait a minute, Swerve is definitely the tag team champion over in AEW, and oh no, if that ain't happening, there ain't no Hit Row as far as I'm concerned. That's just like, they're not gonna do a DX and like, oh, we're gonna recruit 3 new guys and we'll be Hit Row. No, that's not how that works. That's not how that works at all. So look, hoping him the best, obviously, but I'm not excited about it.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Hold on. Pump the brakes here. Roberto Arsenal, my guy, he says Cora is only 21. Sir?
Yeah.
I would counter by saying Roxanne Perez is 20. It is miles ahead of her. So, yeah. There you go.
Look, if you're getting on TV, you're supposed to be advancing and good because they selected you to be on TV. I bet there are plenty of female 20-year-olds who are in the wrestling business, in smaller promotions, in independent promotions, who would love a shot at showing what they can do or what Cora Jade can do. So this idea of age, if you're on TV, it's because they think you can do it. So you better be able to step up to the plate if they think you can do it. I'm just throwing that out there.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, what if they just do what they always do at WWE? And it's like, we're going to replace the black guy with the black guy. Do you think if they put like Carmelo Hayes in Hit Row, it would work?
No.
Yeah, not the same, right?
Because I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah.
On a separate note, that guy, like, you see, sometimes like you watch wrestling, I'm sure we've all done it, and you see somebody and you go, yep, that guy's got it. Yeah. And I see it with Braun Breaker, of course. How do you not see it? But I think that Carmelo Hayes is a guy that I kind of like put under the radar because he came in and he lost to Adam Cole and all this kind of stuff. But I look at how he's grown. I look at his athleticism. I look at the way he is on the mic. I look at the way the crowd responds to him. The guy commands attention.
Yeah.
The guy cuts great promos. The guy is amazing in the ring. He's got it all. All he's got to do is keep the head straight on the shoulders, and you never hear shit about him doing anything crazy. So there you go.
Good point. Good point. All right, let's move on. And just a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, the Streamlabs Super Chat, send them in. We're going into the last half hour or so of the show. So send them in now. You see the Streamlabs address above Aaron's head. It's also been pinned in the chat. It's in the description of the video as well. Send in your questions, thoughts, and comments. Let's get into AEW. Aaron, let's do it.
All right, so light the fuse. I'll run down the matches. We'll talk about them. Darby Allin, glad he's back, defeated Brody King in a coffin match.
Insane.
Rush and Andrade El Idolo defeated the Lucha Bros in a tornado tag team match. The Young Bucks asked Hangman Page to be their trios partner, and Hangman said, "I'll just hang with the Dork Order." Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh called out Wardlow, and he was backed up by that being Wardlow was backed up by FTR. Huge pop. Ricky Starks defeated Aaron Solo, Bayley's former boyfriend. Jade Cargill defeated Madison Rayne to retain the TBS championship. Unfortunately, we also learned that Chris Statlander is out indefinitely with an injury which appears to be serious to her other knee, not the one that she just had surgically repaired. So this was the good knee. It looks like she might be out for an extended period of time. Jon Moxley defeated Chris Jericho to retain the interim AEW championship with a returning CM Punk. So that was AEW Dynamite.
This was a much better AEW Dynamite than last week. This felt like they understood the assignment after last week, and they brought it. I thought the Darby Allin Brody. I mean, there were times where I was looking away from the television because of the brutality of that match. But great to see Darby Allin getting the win there. Is that another? Is that more? The Thunder? Rush and Andre El Idolo. No surprise they beat the Lucha Brothers, but they have such fantastic chemistry. Oh, and by the way, if you don't subscribe to the Strong Style TikTok, Aaron put up a couple of great Lucha Underground to Current Stars videos up there for y'all to watch. So get on there. And Rush was on one of those. So go and take a look at that one on TikTok.
No, he wasn't.
Huh? What?
No, he wasn't. Just a correction.
What? Yeah, I thought he was the first one.
No, that was Santos Escobar.
Oh, sorry. My bad. Either way, go there and have a good time with it.
Thank you.
The Young Bucks asked Hangman to be there. That is fascinating to me that he would side with the Dark Order. What is this leading to? Is this a Kenny Omega comeback? Is that what's happening here? Is FTR better as faces? I feel like they might be more over as faces than they ever were as heels, which is so ironic because they seem to enjoy being heels so much more than being faces. But I like seeing it. Ricky Starks, good match there from him. Madison Rayne, no offense. I texted the boys this earlier this week. She is not Mickie James coming back. She is Madison Rayne at that age, showing her age and the limits of her age. Decent match, but Cargill, no surprise that she dispatched her. But Athena coming in as the surprise of that situation was fun to see as well. Heartbroken about Chris Statlander, someone I think all three of us love and see a bunch of potential with. And so to hear that she's going to go out with another knee injury to her other knee, that is heartbreaking because that's going to take a while to get past as well. It's ironic. Zoey Stark coming back on the WWE side of things from her injury, and here we have Statlander on the AEW side of things going out, but both women that we like here on the show. The Moxley-Jericho match was brutal. Clearly they're not shying away from blood, but Punk coming back was great. That being said, man, is it just me or the Moxley thing was such a dick move that I just didn't like it. And I get, and that's Moxley being a reverend. I get it. The finger and the nudging him on the shoulder, all of that. I'm just weird about it, I guess, because they're both supposed to be faces. So it just seemed odd that he would flick him off after he just fucking saved him. And then odd that he would shoulder bump him after he fucking saved him. So I don't know. I left a bad taste in my mouth. And I get it. Moxley's supposed to be a reverend and the fucking rebel. But like, it just kind of lost me a little bit. So what did you think, Chris, of AEW?
I thought it was a pretty good episode this week. Like you said, I think they shook it off. Tony Khan actually recently made a comment about WWE TV saying that, you know, what they've been doing recently has been really, really good. And and that he watches a lot of it. So he's paying attention. And he knows, like, okay, I can't rest on my laurels. Like I said last week, their tactical advantage is gone. Like, well, we're the wrestling company with the long matches and the great work rate. Triple H was like, hold my beer. That's all I did on the black and gold brand. And I get to play with the most expensive toys. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So, you know, you got to give it. You got to deliver, man. And this week definitely did. The Darby and Brody King stuff. Love the finish to that where he's choking Brody with the chain the same way that Brody choked him in the Battle Royal. I thought that was great. Love Sting showing up in the coffin.
Oh, that's right.
Pulling an Undertaker. Again, Sting for AEW champion all day, every day for me. The tornado tag team match. I didn't know where to look. I was just like, there were bodies flying all over the place. Roosh every single week impresses me a different kind of way. I was not super familiar with him as I was Andrade, but good. I mean, goodness gracious, the dude is good. The dude is really good. And innovative spot with Penta sacrificing his mask to save Rey Fenix. I love that. Even though it felt like that moment probably should have been saved for a bigger show. It's like they don't even have like really a beef with Roosh and Andrade. It's just, you know, they're just having a tag match, and then you do the big mask sacrifice spot. I feel like you could have saved that for a big pay-per-view moment. But still, great spot. Didn't understand the Wardlow, Sanjay Dutt, the Jay Lethal. You got killed, Jay. Why do you want more of that smoke? I will never understand. And then. Not even sure when FTR became friends with Wardlow, but I guess they are.
The Pinnacle, man. The Pinnacle.
Oh, that's right. That's how long ago that was. I don't even remember that. They seem to be way more into being CM Punk's friend recently. So I totally forgot about that. That's a damn good point. That's good storytelling. Ricky Starks, dumb over right now. I mean, super over. We got to get some gold back on that kid.
Yeah,
he's amazing. I wonder if it was awkward for Aaron Solo because Bayley is always tweeting about Ricky Starks. They're really good friends, and it's like now you're fighting her ex. It's like that'd be like maybe a little uncomfortable in that situation. Jade Cargill, Masserane, train wreck. Didn't like it, not at all.
Yeah, man, why?
And I feel like I cursed Chris Statlander. I literally said last week, "Where is Chris Statlander? When are we going to get her versus Jade?" And then, damn it, we had to get that announcement. That sucks. Speedy recovery for Jade. I mean for Chris Statlander. Very very big bummer. And then the main event. I don't know if it's because Chris Jericho was wearing the Lionheart stuff that made him look 5 years younger, but it certainly did.
Yeah.
And he looked good in the ring. He's doing more aerial stuff, which he doesn't do that much. Love the match psychology and storytelling where Moxley's going up to the top rope, which he never really does either, because that's how he's got to do to counter this version of Jericho. I don't think the tap out was in any way expected by anyone who was watching that match. And so that made it a way more exciting finish. Jericho getting hard weighed on that exposed turnbuckle.
Oh my God. Yeah.
That was really bad. He posted the picture of it afterwards. He was all messed up. But yeah, it was brutal. It was good. Great. You just forget because of a lot of Jericho's incubus activities, as you might say. Thank you, Aaron. The dude can wrestle.
Oh, yes.
You know what I mean? He can really, really wrestle. And him bringing out like the chain wrestling at the very beginning of the match and then kind of progressing through the motions and showing like, no, I do this. You know what I mean? Like I'm one of the greatest. Like kudos to Jericho. Yeah, the ending with Punk and Moxley kind of, you always run into awkwardness when there's no true face heel dynamic.
Yeah.
Especially when it's not one that's particularly interesting in and of itself. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we had talked about how like maybe Tanahashi should have won the interim belt. So at least when Punk comes back, that has a lot more intrigue to it, regardless of heel face dynamic. Yeah. These two, it's like you kind of want someone to be the bad guy, but nobody is. And so, it seeing them face to face, it's a big match on paper, but I'm gonna need a little more story there.
Do the promo. Have Moxley grab the mic and go, "Nobody asked you to come out here. I don't need you to come out here and save me. Didn't you have a broken foot? Don't you dare to think you can get in my business. All right, I'm the champ." That's the better route. Have him flick him off and then shoulder nudge him like we're back in fucking high school. I thought was just lame for what you were going for in that situation. Do the promo, have fun with it. Let them, and then you saw Punk trying to rile up the crowd afterwards. And it was like, what the fuck are you doing, man? Like, promos handle the job. Anyway, sorry. Aaron, what did you think about this whole thing?
I'll tell you this, very sad about Chris Statlander. That just makes me very sad.
Yes.
Because she's great. I thought she was getting better and better every time I saw her. She, in my opinion, should have won, even as an interim person, should have won the Owen Hart tournament, not Dr. Baker. And I think she should have been in line for Rose's title. Anyway, not important. Darby Allin, Brody King, I was very surprised that I liked this matchup. Sting getting out of the coffin was like me getting out of a coffin very slowly. And then it was so good on commentary when Tony Schiavone was like, Brody King did a perfect bounce into that casket. Like it was perfect. Like picture perfect fall. That was awesome by Brody King. As far as the rest of it goes, the thing about Rush and Andrade, I agree, dude. Like every match they are together or whatever, they're just so damn good, and they deserve better than what they're getting. They should be in the running for tag team titles. That's definitely how it should be going.
That's fair.
Bucks and Hangman, I don't care. I really don't care at all. I'm glad that Kenny's coming back. It seems that's great. I like Kenny, so that's cool. And as far as the main event goes, I was impressed by Jericho. I'm glad to see that after all the blood sucking he's been doing, he gave some blood. So that was nice. The CM Punk and Jon Moxley thing, it doesn't bother me like it bothered you, Rocha, because that's just something you fucking do that all the time.
Moxley does,
do the thing. And then Moxley next week will cut a promo that's something like this. CM Punk, like you think that you're he's very breathy when he does it. So he's like, you think that you're like, because you're from Chicago, you're from like some tough streets. Well, I grew up in the tough streets of Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm going to break your leg again, and I'm going to make you bleed, and then I'm going to drink the blood, and then I'm going to spill your blood with all the fans. We're all going to collectively drink your blood because I'm Jon Moxley. Blah. Like, it's the same shit every time, so it doesn't do anything for me. Bryan Danielson, I think, is going to be on Rampage talking about an announcement, so that'll be interesting to see. Tonight. Or is that on next week's Dynamite? I'm not sure. So where's Bryan Danielson figure into this whole situation? I feel like CM Punk has to win. He has to beat Jon Moxley. I'm not saying that it can't be competitive, but I think CM Punk should win. I'm going to say this, and I can't believe I'm going to. If the year stopped today, and you were like, give me your top 5 wrestlers of the year, how could I not put Jon Moxley in there? Like, even as someone that I'm not like a big fan,
it's a valid point.
Jon Moxley at all, like, he's had a fucking good year. So, I'll give him his flowers on that one, but I think that CM Punk has to win this match.
Okay. I'd love to see Sting slide in there. I mean, like, seriously, like, I'm so in Chris's camp on this, man, because I kind of love the idea of Sting. If those two old fogies can go out with Jericho being involved in it, then why can't Sting be involved in some way down the road? I mean, Sting versus Punk would be incredible. I think that would put butts in seats like crazy. And especially now with the WWE under Triple H looking like reborn, you want to pull out all the possibilities that you can and compete for fans' attention with the best that you got. And I know Sting is 62 years old, but clearly the man can go. And so let's see what could happen with him and Punk. Because I'm sure Punk would be happy to wrestle a slower match than he's been wrestling.
He would love to. He'd be marking out to wrestle Sting in a big match. Of course he would. Yeah,
that's for sure. And then
it would be his choice. It wouldn't be like the company saying, you got to lose to The Rock. Right. You got to lose to John Cena. It would be something that Punk would probably want to happen.
Yeah. Kind of like Triple H losing to Hogan when he gave him the belt in 2002, I think it was. Yeah. So, all right. Well, we got an announcement to announce here. Chris, do you want to take it away? What's going on here?
Absolutely. If you follow all of our Twitters, you would know that we are on our own separate podcast feed now. So all places that you can grab podcasts, you can go listen to Strong Style, Apple Music. What are some other ones?
Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts,
Stitcher,
Spotify,
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio is where we're based out of through Spreaker. So yeah, all those places are available for you to subscribe to us on the podcast feed.
So with that being said, need your support, baby. That's how you trigger the algorithm. That's how you get the attention. That's how you get people to tune in and get a piece of this greatness that happens every week. What other podcast out there, has not one of the greatest Schmodown champion of all time?
That's right.
You know what I mean? Which one? Which podcast has that? This podcast has the man who literally survived an act of God mid-podcast and kept going. You know what I'm saying? What other podcast has a legitimate member of the Bullet Club talking about wrestling every single week?
It's true.
We need the world to know. We need the world to know. So what we need you to do, as our loyal listeners, as our loyal fans, as part of the Strong Style universe, we need you to give us 5-star reviews on the podcast, as well as leave a review. That's very important. A lot of people leave the 5 stars. They don't leave the review. So get into action, make it happen. But we're going to incentivize you to do that. Because what do you love more than you love wrestling, more than you love us? Free shit. And we got it for you, baby. Aaron, talk about it.
So even though I kind of dogged him in my last segment of talking, if you leave a 5-star review and a review and are picked, got to be picked, we're going to start giving some free shit away, like Chris said. And this week, we're going to be giving away former AEW World Heavyweight Champion, the Hangman, Adam Page, AEW figure from Series 5. You can see he's got his bandana.
He's got the beer pitcher and the cups. He's ready to party.
Nice.
You will get the Hangman
for free if you do win that randomization.
What do they have to do? Do they have to take a picture of their review and of their stars, 5 stars, and then tweet it all 3 of us?
That would be ideal if you could take a picture and tag all 3 of us in that. That would be great on Twitter. Or if not, we'll find it anyway, so don't worry. But that would help your chances.
Yes, but the only way to enter is by leaving a 5-star review. We'll randomly pick somebody, and then we'll shout you out on the show, get your contact information some kind of way after that, and then send you the figure. But you got to show the support. Very important. Very important. And this won't, maybe this is a string of giveaways going forward. Who knows? Who knows the possibilities?
I got a whole closet full of shit. Come on. There's a lot to give away for sure.
I got a lot of shirts.
Vincent Zawada, you are permanently banned now from this. How dare you bring up the holy Dan?
We're talking about leaving reviews, dude. Like, we're not talking about Dan. Who is that anyway? Yeah, leave a 5-star review like Rob Van Dam would leave a 5-star frog splash on top of Lance Storm's chest. Boom.
All right. Well, we got about 18 minutes left, or I don't know, a few minutes left. Do we want to hit some trivia? Are there any other news stories that you guys want to hit on? What do you got?
Hey, yo, the most popular segment of the show, that'd be trivia.
Let's do it. We got to come up with some video thing for it. So we'll see. But anyway, go ahead. Yes.
All right. So Chris seems to be the champion so far of trivia.
He seems to be.
So Chris, 1 through 10. And we will, of course, it is the same categories as last week: government names, managers, wrestlers in film, WWF in the 80s, WCW, ECW, the Monday Night Wars, factions, tag teams, women's wrestling. Chris, 1 through 10.
Just because I need to get better at this. I keep saying it's my weak spot. So we're going to start with WCW this week.
Oh, boy. WCW, that is number 5.
Who wants to come see WCW? Go ahead. Yeah.
There you go. In the early 90s, WCW kind of toyed with the concept of Battle Bowl, a one-night tournament, or as some would know it as the Lethal Lottery. In the history of Battle Bowl, there were 2 winners, one in 1991 and one in 1996. Name either winner of Battle Bowl.
Oof.
Can I get the years one more time?
1991 and 1996. I will take either winner.
Okay.
Vader is correct. He was
What?
the 1991 winner of Battle Bowl.
What?
I only know that because there's a Battle Bowl shirt and Vader's on the cover. He's on the front of the shirt, and I was like, that's the best I had.
Do you want to take a shot in the dark at 96? Anybody, both of you.
Sting.
Luger?
I say Sting.
Diamond Dallas Page.
What? DDP?
Diamond Dallas Page.
To the bang.
All right, Rocco, you're up 1 through 10. Not WCW.
Yeah. Wrestlers in film. Let's see if I have
Wrestlers
my
in
shot.
film. All right, here we go.
Ugh.
This WWF Hall of Fame, this WWE Hall of Famer played bounty hunter Hutch in Suburban Commando, which also starred Hulk Hogan.
Fudge. Was it The Undertaker?
Mark Calloway or The Undertaker is correct.
Yeah.
He played Hutch.
Thank you. That's some schmodown studying there. All right.
Also, if you want something really deep, did you know that one of the kids was played by, what's her face from The Invisible Man? Because I did not know that till today.
Elizabeth Moss?
Elizabeth Moss. She was one of the kids. Anyway.
What? Wow.
1 through 10, Chris, not WCW or wrestlers in film.
I looked that up.
I want to try to keep Rocha on a roll here. Let's go WWF in the 80s. I know that's his favorite.
Oh, no. WWF in the 80s. Okay. This WWF Hall of Famer defeated the Junkyard Dog in what was a screw-up finish at WrestleMania 3.
Yes.
Harley Race.
King Harley Race is correct.
Yeah.
All right, Rocha, 1 through 10. Of course, none of the ones we've already done.
Let's Let's mess around with women's wrestling. See if I might have a shot at that.
Women's wrestling number 10. WrestleMania 32 saw the return of the WWF Women's Championship. It had been the Divas Championship up until that point. It was to be awarded to the winner of the triple threat match between Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, and Sasha Banks. What female Hall of Famer presented the belt to the winner?
Ooh.
Who was Charlotte Flair, by the way?
Yes, I know it was Charlotte. I thought that was going to be the question. I was like, nailed it. But no. Trish Stratus?
Good guess. Very close. Chris, that is not correct, but Chris, do you have an answer?
Oh, if it's not Trish, was it Lita?
It was Lita.
Damn it.
Lost herself, Lita.
Oh.
All right, Chris, 1 through
close.
10. Nothing that we've done before.
Now going to my favorite category, ECW.
ECW. Sabu racked up numerous injuries in his time with ECW. At 1994's November to Remember, this wrestler actually broke Sabu's neck.
Oh, the crippler Chris Benoit. That's where he got the name from.
The crippler Chris Benoit is correct, and that is
Fun
where he
fact.
got the name.
That's why, because he wasn't great on the mic, after he did that, Paul Heyman was like, just rub your hands. Let everyone see that these are the hands that broke Sabu's neck. Wow. You don't have to say anything else after that. And if you notice, throughout the rest of Benoit's career, he was always doing this behind someone.
Right, yeah. And he did the neck shrug, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
True.
All right, Rocha, 1 through 10. Nothing we've already picked.
Managers, I guess. I'll take a shot at
managers. Number 2. All right.
Hold on. This just I think this is breaking real quick. Hold on. Thanks to one of our fans here. Takashita saying that he is leaving America. I have so many great memories the last 4 months. Thank you all for being so nice to me at AEW. Posted this about 8 minutes ago. Just
son of a bitch.
He's been great.
I love him.
Yeah,
he has been fantastic.
I love him, dude. I think he's great.
But rumors are WWE's been interested in this guy. So
well, there you go. Never mind. Done deal. Come on. Kamasuke. All right. So we're on managers, right? Okay. So
I don't know why I don't know why I play. Good. Yes.
This ECW manager ended up actually marrying her client in real life, who was Tommy Dreamer.
Fuck. Was it Beulah? No. Who?
Beulah McGillicuddy is the correct answer.
Yes.
Yes. They even have a child together. So
what?
Shout out to, I think, a couple. Shout out there's Beulah.
A shirt for Beulah. Jesus.
Beulah McGillicuddy.
She's hardcore.
Former Penthouse pet, Beulah McGillicuddy.
This is like my favorite ECW shirt.
It's a great one. It's a great one.
It is like it was so hard to find.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure. I didn't even know they made one.
Ryan Myers just cried himself to sleep not having that shirt. 1 through 10, Chris, for you now.
Let's see what's left. Factions. Let's go factions.
Factions.
Here we go.
Category number 8 in factions. The Union was a short-lived faction during the Attitude Era that often feuded with the corporate ministry. This group had 4 members. Name one of them.
Which one do you want? Mankind, Test, The Big Show. Ken Shamrock, I think, was the last one.
He got all 4.
Wow.
He got all 4.
Wow.
Oh my God, I thought that would trip you up. Okay.
The Union. They had like big hacksaw, big
2x4s. Yeah.
It was
terrible.
So corny.
Terrible. All right, Rocha, you're up.
Union. What do we have left here? Sorry, I was looking up Elizabeth Moss. You are right. She is in Suburban Commando as, quote, the little girl.
We have WCW, tag teams.
No, I thought we did WCW.
Wait, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Tag teams, government names, and what else?
The Monday Night Wars.
The Monday Night Wars, yeah. Or no, wait.
No.
Yeah, Monday Wars. Yeah, that's right. Sorry.
Fuck. I guess I'll go the Monday Night Wars.
Man, nobody likes government names. That hurts my feelings.
I don't know people's names, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Monday Night Wars.
I'm not going to get this right. Go ahead.
At Bash at the Beach 2000.
Right.
After the Vince Russo, Hogan, and Jeff Jarrett fiasco that started tonight, what Hall of Famer defeated Jeff Jarrett to win his very first WCW championship?
Booker T. Come on.
Booker T, two-time Hall of Famer Booker T is correct.
I was in Tallahassee, Florida with my friend Andre Gordon at a fucking BW3s watching this fucking match or watching this pay-per-view. And when that whole shit went down, oh my God, I lost my goddamn mind. I was so mad at Russo. I wanted to take a baseball bat to Russo for what he did to Hogan. And it just drove me insane. But that was the death knell. I never saw another WC pay-per-view. I don't think I saw another WCW pay-per-view ever again after that. So
there you go. I love it.
So I remember everything about that fucking pay-per-view.
All right, Chris, we got government names, or we also have, I believe, tag teams as well.
All right, I'll go government names.
All right. Yes.
Should be government.
This Hall of Famer's government name is Jim Hellwig.
That's the Ultimate Warrior.
that is correct. It is the Ultimate Warrior himself. Rest in peace. So that leaves John Rocha with tag teams.
Oh, great. All right. The Union. What?
The Union consisted of this tag team: Lord Steven Regal and Earl Robert Eaton, also known as Bob Eaton.
Yes.
Were known as what posh tag team in WCW? Lord Steven Regal and Earl Robert Eaton.
The Blue Bloods, yes?
The Blue Bloods is 100% correct.
Yeah!
It was the best you've ever done, John.
I think you killed it. It was originally supposed to be Lord Steven Regal and Paul Levesque as the Blue
Triple
Bloods.
H, really?
But Paul Levesque ended up signing with the WWF and becoming, of course, Triple H. And Bobby Eaton just was fucking doing nothing, so they threw him in there, and it was Bobby Eaton's great. And so,
how do I have this bullshit in the back of my head? I swear to God, I was like,
dude, this is how we know these things, by watching these documentaries, by watching wrestling. Right. This is why we know this crap.
I'm like, was it the Earls? Was it the Prince? Was it the Royal Family? What was it? And then Blue Bloods. There it is. Boom.
What possessed you to ask a question about the Union?
I was actually playing No Mercy.
No Mercy, yeah.
And I was like, this fucking faction sucked.
That was their claim to fame, that they tried to legitimize that faction in that game.
Awesome.
Sucked. It was awful.
All right, well, let's get on out of here. Oh, was there a super chat, SJC? You sent it earlier at the beginning of the show where you thanked us for the hard work. Roberto Arso said, no offense to Aaron, but I think Omega deserves a better return than coming back in West Virginia, of all places. All Out is shaping up to be a great pay-per-view. There you go.
You are thinking that Kenny's coming back next week. I don't think he is.
Not next week. Oh yeah, wait, fair enough. You
got a couple
too early still? You think it's too early?
We got a couple.
Tony Khan did say that he would not do a trios title thing until Kenny was ready to go. He said that a long time ago.
He did say that.
Yeah, they're doing Dynamite in Charleston this week, Charleston, West Virginia. So that's fine. I don't care. I mean, they're not going to do it in Canada because they haven't ran Canada yet, so they're not going to do it in Winnipeg. But yeah, I agree with that. Don't do West Virginia.
Okay, all right. SJC,
yeah.
So go ahead, Aaron. What were we saying?
I was going to say I found it if you didn't.
Yeah. SJC 360 says, "Does Velveteen Dream wrestle anywhere, or is he blacklisted everywhere?" It's a good question, SJC. Is there a redemption story for Velveteen, possibly, or no?
I don't remember where that scandal netted out. Was he guilty or was he not? I don't remember.
I think that's the problem. That's the problem. We never figured it out because we never fully heard his side of the story.
Yeah.
I can tell you that just talking with one person, just talking with Malachi Black about Velveteen Dream, he was very complimentary towards him. He said he had a really good time with Patrick Clark, the man. And he said that sometimes he could be a bit shy. Sometimes he could be a bit abrasive, but he when it push came to shove, he was always great in the ring and a great dude to be around. So, I mean, he didn't comment on the indiscretions. He just said, I don't know about that. I know nothing about that.
Right.
But I think it's time that we heard his side of the story. And I don't know what he's doing now. I haven't heard anything about what he's doing now, but
it's so ironic. This is an article that posted today at 1:15 p.m. on Wrestling Inc. about Velveteen Dream and Booker T's comments. Apparently, WWE looked into the allegations because he was accused of sexual misconduct and inappropriate behavior. Velveteen Dream was, and they looked into the allegations, but they stated they found nothing that would warrant any action, and that was per CBS Sports article. He was released in late May, according to Forbes, along with several other stars due to, quote, budget cuts. However, it's not known if Dream was told or if the accusations had anything to do with it. Booker T was asked by a fan whether or not he thinks WWE will ever re-sign Velveteen Dream. He says, no, I do not. Brad Gilmore always says that you could put yourself where something could happen and it could be bad. And sometimes you can never find your way back from it. And I think Velveteen Dream is going to be one of those guys that would have had a hell of a career if that's the end of that story. So that's his thoughts here. So maybe there's more behind this that we don't know about. Although WWE may not have found something. That was another regime that was looking into the stuff. Would this regime maybe find something that would make them uncomfortable? I don't know. So we shall see. Also, EC3 opened up about Vince and said it wasn't one really. I asked about his relationship with Vince and what happened. He said it wasn't one thing really. Talked to him a couple times. I would say the man I wanted him to be and expected him to be, the leader that I heard he was from the past, I did not see. I saw more of a shell of that sort of feeble old man as opposed to the leader you'd want to run through a wall for. Oof. Strong statements from EC.
What the fuck? Is Vince McMahon supposed to be fucking Nick Saban? Like, what the fuck? Like, and coming from EC3, don't even get me started on this fucking wacko. I just don't have time for that.
I just wanted to throw some things out there.
But I did want to say, like, Velveteen, I agree with Brad what he said. Like, if the story of Velveteen Dream ends with, well, it could have been, that fucking sucks.
Yep.
Because I think John especially, I think that we all love this guy.
I think
we all thought that Velveteen Dream was like, oh, to the moon.
Super over.
I mean, people compared him to Randy Savage, Chris. Like, people said that without, and no one argued against it. It was incredible.
When he came to the ring in the NWO Hogan get up, I mean, dude, you couldn't find a bigger Velveteen fan than me at the time.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the Prince Puma gear.
That's right.
And the Call Me Up Vince. Call Me Up Vince. It's a shame. I'd love to hear his side. I think we should, if everybody's okay with it, open invitation to come on the show.
Sure. Would love to hear from Velveteen Dream and his side of things, of course, for sure. And obviously not picking sides or trying to denigrate any of the accusations that were made, but, open the forum to hear from the other side. Sure, why not? There must be more to it if Booker T is one of these guys saying there's no way back, because certainly Booker T knows about redemption, his own redemption story, having been in prison and what have you. So certainly, and he likes to mentor and counsel people. So maybe there is more here than we've heard about. So we shall see. Anyway, all right. Well, that's our show. Thank you all so much for watching us here. We appreciate it madly. Thanks for the chat being as lively as hell. Thanks for the over 100 of you who are still hanging out with us right now as we wrap up the show. Please make sure you hit a like on this video. If you're watching it later, leave a comment for sure. And remember, as we said earlier, we are on our own podcast stream. Starting in September, I will stop putting this up on the Outlaw Nation Podcast Network. So head on over to Strong Style Live, find it wherever you download podcasts, subscribe, and you'll be able to get all the content we do here. Plus, we'll be doing some podcast-specific content as well. Occasional Q&As. Aaron is talking about having some TikTok stuff going on. So there will be audio stuff for you all to listen to that is just podcast exclusive. So go and sign up there. Another fun show. Aaron Turner, where can they find you, brother man?
You can find me on Twitter at Only Aaron Turner. Like you said, TikTok at strong_style_live. Killing it on the TikTok there, guys.
Yeah.
And Rocha, I want to throw this out for next week, possibly if we have time. Let's open up the trivia to the chat. Let's bring somebody in to see if they can join in the trivia. So
okay.
There maybe guys do some studying and we'll see if you can beat.
To compete. Oh, you mean to compete?
To compete.
Maybe. Yeah. That's not a bad idea. I think that
we'll take a look at that.
My numbers usually go down when people come in from the chat, but all right.
Okay, well, screw you all then.
No, we'll do it towards the tail end of the show, so we've gotten our numbers by then. All right. Anyway, it's a good idea. So let's explore it. Chris, where can another great show as well, brother man? Thanks for doing it here on Friday. Where can they find you, my man?
Chris_please on all the stuff, and I've been just hearing all kinds of stuff about wrestling, so hopefully I can drop more gems in the coming weeks. So
there you go.
Crap, I got another idea. I have to say it. What if we start? Remember Mean Gene's hotline?
Yeah,
1-800-909-9900.
Yeah.
What if we just like purchase that number and then it was the Chris Burns hotline? Like Chris just tells you like the hot stuff going on. He's got the tea going on.
I like it.
We're going to workshop that.
Yeah. What I like is that you're doing the WCW thing of throwing out a bunch of ideas at once. Slow down.
Yeah,
we don't want the show over. Come on, slow down. We'll get to everything. As for me, you can follow me at The Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, The Outlaw Nation on Twitch, where I will be in half an hour doing a live show with Wendy, the John and Wendy show. We're going to be on for about an hour from 3 to 4 p.m. PT on my Twitch, The Outlaw Nation. Go and find it, follow and subscribe me there. And subscribe to the channel, please, and hit a like on this and share it on your social media. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode. Don't forget about the giveaway of Strong Style. Peace.